Well, this is Jacob BINZER and from D.A.D, the Danish rock band D.A.D. You're talking to me live from Frederiksberg Gardens in the middle of Copenhagen, which is like a park that was founded here 300 years ago by Frederick the Sixth, one of the kings, one of the infamous Danish crazy kings. But anyway, we are going to Australia with D.A.D to play some greatest hits, as we call them. At least we think so. And we're gonna play some tracks from the new album as well. And
Beautiful.
yeah, absolutely. And it's
Right.
gonna be. It's such a blast last time we went to Australia, which is 2 years ago. And it before that it we were it was even longer ago. It was like years and years ago before that. And so we really appreciate that the Australian fans that they hang on and they show up and they sing along. It's such a pleasure. So we are looking forward.
Fantastic, mate. Well, I have to say that's probably one of the best introductions I've ever received. We had a bit of a history lesson there. We've got a beautiful picturesque park we're walking through. That's just top the cake for all of them, mate. Well done.
Great. Yeah, you're welcome.
So, as you mentioned, Dad returned to Australia shortly for a run of shows starting May the 20th in Perth. And then you hit Brisbane and Sydney before finishing in Melbourne on May the 24th. Like it's not that long yet, mate. So are you packed and ready to go?
I'm packed and ready to go. And it's well, I wish I could spend more time down there, but it's the start of the festival season in Europe, so unfortunately we have to head back after like I think I can spend a couple of days in Melbourne after the last show, which I will enjoy. But then we are back to Europe. But Australia, you know what? What the first time uh, back in the early 90s when we went to promote and play for the albums back then. Then I went to after the tour. I went to Cairns up north and I went on a motorcycle
Uh-huh.
safari on a with a local guide up there, and I want to do that again. So please join in, any one of you down there sometime. Motorcycle safari in Cairns. How about that?
I'm hearing you there, bro. I actually remember I went to Cairns for holiday the day I finished high school when I was about 16, and I never left for
Yeah.
about 28 years later. I left the place. It was that good.
Okay. Yeah. It was great. Yeah. Absolutely.
Nice. Nice. Now, this is being billed as a greatest hits tour, mate, but you guys have got so many songs that are considered greatest hits by your fans. Like, it'd almost be harder for you to put together a greatest hits tour set list than it would if you just playing off a new album cycle, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's hard to you want to play so many songs that it's really hard to leave some out, but you have to. But in the case of Australia, it's a little easier because some of the albums that in the meantime that we released in Denmark might not be that relevant to Australian audiences. But so I think we're gonna put uh, emphasis on like No Fuel Left on the Pilgrims album and the new one, and then we're gonna have like tracks from in between also. So I think I don't know how long we're allowed to play, but we should at least play like 90 minutes, 90 minutes of rock and roll, I guess.
Mm. Nice, nice. Now, that sort of raises a good point, mate. Like, when you're doing greatest hit shows, like, do you change your set list up from country to country? Because some countries, I can imagine some songs would be more popular than others and they'd be less popular in other countries. So do you chop and change it to do with that, or does everyone just get the same experience?
We change it a little bit. Some songs are very popular in some countries, and we just have to play it. And and but as the years go by, it gets to be more and more the same because it's like the whole thing gets distilled. It's like the Rolling Stones. You want to hear Jumping Jack Flash, and satisfaction, and that's kind of all over the world, and it gets concentrated down to the real to the real classics, right? And but in terms of the new album, you never know which ones are the album is still so new, so we don't know if any of those songs is gonna be part of like the greatest hits collection in the future.
Yeah.
But like a song, we have songs that we have to play in Portugal. We have songs that we have to play in Sweden, and so we just change it a little bit. Yeah.
Nice. Now, you guys have been around for a long while, so your spread of demographic of your fan base covers a few generations, mate. So just say Dad's dragging his son along to watch you guys for the first time and says, "You got to see these guys, boy. They're fucking awesome." Like, what three songs would you tell that kid to listen to get ready for a Dad live show?
I would start off with the first song of the new album, called "God Praise to Man," which is like a modern rock anthem. Well, it's not modern; it's just new. but like that's the newest D.A.D. rock anthem, and I think then you would have to listen to um, 1900 and Yesterday, a track from the album called Everything Glows, which is from the year 2000, which is more like the poppy sound of D.A.D. And then you have to listen to Sleeping My Day Away, which is our hit single from back in the day. That's the song that made the whole difference. So you need to listen to that.
Cool. I'm just going to say, bro, so have you got yourself a bottle of water, or is there a water fountain handy? Because it looks pretty bloody hot where you are.
It is kind of hot. It's like the first hot, I would say it's the first hot day in Denmark. It's like, I think it's almost like 20 degrees here. What's it like in Melbourne now?
Melbourne, you can go through 4 different seasons in one day, mate. You can wake up and it'll be 40 degrees, and half an hour later it'll be raining. And so I wouldn't really gauge it by Melbourne. I'd probably take a jumper for Melbourne, but the rest of Australia is pretty warm right now.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. I read a quote from Jasper where he said that a D.A.D. show is a party and it always will be, which is a pretty big call coming over to Australia, mate, because us guys are well known for our love of a party. So you're going to have to bring it. Yeah.
I mean, we know what Australians are all about when they go to a show. And the first time we were in Australia, we watched one of the local reps from the record company took us to a show with the Angels.
Yep.
And it was like this huge club kind of feeling, and it was like there was a night out with the guys and some beers. We know what that feeling is, we know what that is in Denmark, so don't you worry. But I think that it's more than a party. You get to take something home also, something to think about. And I like to believe that some of our songs are something you want to listen to with your headphones. Also when you're home in your room and feel melancholic. So I think we cover more than just a party, but we know what the party is. I promise.
It's actually funny that you mentioned the Angels, mate, because I haven't heard all that much of D.A.D's music, but I chucked a couple of songs on while I was doing the questions up, and the first band I thought of that you reminded me of was the Angels. And it's like it's quite uncanny that you mentioned them.
Yeah. Pretty good, yes.
So you guys are well known for your live shows, mate. And you've been doing this for a long time. So do you still have to practice, and do you still put a lot of work into your live shows, or is it all pretty much second nature by now?
No, we try to make a new stage set every time we go out for a new round, and we try to change it and keep ourselves excited and the audience. We try to surprise the audience, and although we don't have to rehearse the songs, we have to rehearse the set list. We have to we want to make a set list that not too many breaks. We have to keep the energy up, and so we spent some time playing the set list from start to finish to get to get the feeling of the whole show. So we do that some days in a row before we go on tour, and then we decide we work on the set list for quite a while actually, and play the songs that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you have to get it into your backbone, the feel of the set list, so you don't have to think once you're there. It gives a better experience for the audience as well.
Now, you sort of touched on this before, mate, but it was actually his second album, No Fuel Left for the Pilgrims, in 1989, that the world as a whole pretty much caught up with D.A.D. So what was it, do you think, about that album and that time period that made people actually get what you were doing?
I think it was a combination of we kind of hit we hit the right nerve in terms of what the rock feeling was like at the time. And at the same time, we brought something different, which was like some sort of melodic sense that we have in Scandinavia, and just a little bit different sound. And we brought, and also the lyrics. It's not the usual boy meets girl lyrics, or it was like the lyrics are quite unusual. So all those combinations, I think, made the difference.
Yeah. Back on it with the benefit of time, mate, like over your whole CDography, I guess. Like, do you think that's your best body of work, or do you think other albums are better?
Well, I think you can never tell how you rank an album until some time has passed. But if I'd say that, yeah, No Fuel Left for the Pilgrims is definitely one of the best albums. And I think that the song Sleep My Day Away and the song Point of View, and that kind of sound is what is maybe most unique about D.A.D. when you really have to distill it down to to be as concise as possible. But and so that album and the album Everything Glows from 2000 is also uh, one of the better ones. But I would leave it. I would leave it to someone else to make that distinction. I think because yeah, but time will, yeah, you can see over time which albums uh, has what quality, how they rank. You never know when you do it, and you shouldn't really worry too much. Yeah, actually just do what you can in the moment, and then you must see how it flies. Actually, that was my opinion.
Yeah. Right. Now, you also recently celebrated 40 years as a band, mate, which is a massive achievement. But has that milestone actually sunk in yet? Like, have you just taken a step back and just gone, like, we're pretty fucking cool? You know, not many people have done this.
Yeah, it's I think it's surreal that that 40 years has gone by, because I feel like it's the same. It's still the same. I just, the way I work is just like you work on the next project, and you don't look too much further than that. You work on the next project, and you think about the next tour. And I don't know how it would feel if I woke up one morning and we didn't have a gig in the calendar. We didn't have some project in the future. I mean, that remains to be seen. But you know what? That when you think of a rock band that existed for 40 years, it's like somehow it's unnatural, because rock and roll is all about being in the moment and the immediate feeling. Um, but the immediate feeling has lasted 40 years now, And the immediate feeling is what you get when you go to a show, and that's what you appreciate. That's what I appreciate when I go see one of my favorite bands. I don't care if the songs they play are new or 30 years old. If they play it with enthusiasm and respect, then it's that moment I want. So I try to do that.
Fantastic, Jay. Thanks very much for your time, bro. It's been absolute pleasure chatting with you. I'll come along to the Brisbane show and hopefully we can have a beer.
Okay.